Hi everybody, my name is Mario Corte, and I am the author of a book called Energetic Vampires, which has been published both in the Italian and the Spanish language. This kind of vampire can be someone who passes by us, who works with us, or who is part of our family, and that feeds off our energy, often unconsciously. After studying the phenomenon of human vampires for about 20 years, I would like to address the English-speaking audience with a series of conversations about vampires, trying to give some keys to recognizing psychoenergetic vampirism and defending. In this first conversation, I would like to talk about one of the most damaging outcomes of a vampiric aggression: the terrorist use of emotional dependence. The vampire is someone who, while still alive, is already profoundly dead, because he essentially feels he is a non-entity. He deludes himself that he is hiding his shame by acting in such a way as to fool, mortify, and humiliate others. This, unfortunately, is the condition of many human beings, and the familiarity, the sharing, the cohabitation typical of emotional relationships only accentuate the more dramatic aspects of that condition, driving many unhappy individuals toward the use of vampiric arts against those they care for. A person becomes a vampire because he is afraid that his own human and psychological shortcomings will be discovered. And who has a better chance of discovering them than someone who loves us and perhaps lives with us? Therefore, all possible systems of defense are activated to defend our own defects and transform them into extraordinary, legendary, almost superhuman qualities through actions that are reminiscent of black magic. The most negative, ponderous, or harsh characteristics of a personality magically become attributes to be admired and revered, so that they flow together to form a single mythical, almost divine whole. Obscene language, overbearance, stupidity, the most merciless psychological pressure, even physical violence become all right and acceptable part of everyday reality when one embraces this kind of personality cult. Often, unfortunately, there is no alternative. Human beings need affection and may be content, even with crumbs if necessary. At times, they are obliged to be content with emotional food that has been poisoned by frustration, unhappiness, and violence, but is still food. There is no greater crime than that of giving a venomous serpent to someone who asks for bread. That is, for healthy emotional nourishment to be able to live and grow. And yet, many commit that crime. Those who cannot resist the temptation of blackmailing the innocent with a weapon of affection become vampires. Maybe a poor, miserable vampire, but nevertheless an enemy and exploiter of innocence, and therefore, when all is said and done, a monster. The steps of this terrible scheme can be synthesized in what I have defined as the 6 premises of emotional vampirism. 1. I feel like a non-entity, and therefore I hate myself. 2. I want to ease the tension of my miserable condition by dominating someone else. 3. You love me and cannot live without my affection. 4. If you agree to accept my domination, you'll have my affection. If you don't, not only will I deny you my affection, but I'll make life impossible for you. 5. The ways of accepting my domination include A. Revering my defects. B. Comprehensively mythicizing my personality. 6. Now you know my rules. Now behave accordingly.